Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Brews. I am your host, Commander Claw, and I'm bringing you another Final Fantasy commander that is a rakdos Spellslinger. If you like playing low CMC spells, generally burn spells, loot spells, wheel effects, this is the commander for you. But you also want to win the game quickly? I have the right cards for you because let's get to the point. You want to have fun and play to win, but this commander is going to make your opponents hate you. Okay? So let me read Black Waltz number 3's ability. 2 black and a red. On a 2/2 body. Legendary wizard. He has flying. He has death touch. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Waltz number 3 deals 2 damage to each opponent. His flavor text says, "You fool, do I look like some lowly black mage soldier?" That flavor text to me, I don't even know the whole story about this guy. But once I saw that and I figured out what you could do with him, I was like, man, that's a joke. That's not fair. So let me give you 2 cards that are your win cons for this commander. So what do you know? It happens to be Infect. Grafted exoskeleton for 4 mana, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Infect. It deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters and to players in the form of poison counters. Then it says whenever grafted exoskeleton becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent, equip 2. Okay, so guess what? Black Waltz number 3 says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Waltz number 3 deals 2 damage to each opponent. So once Grafted Exoskeleton is attached, equipped to Black Waltz number 3, each non-creature spell you play after that will give each opponent 2 poison counters. They only need 10 poison counters to lose the game. You see where I'm going with this. Moving on to the next card that gives Black Waltz number 3 Infect. Phyrexis. This is a better version because it only costs a total of 2 mana. 1 and a black. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has Infect. This is the better version of it. Once your commander dies, unfortunately, Phyrexis will be gone too. But it only costs 2 mana to give him Infect, and all you gotta do is cast your non-creature spells and to deal 2 poison counters to each opponent. And don't forget, you can have a bunch of 0 CMC artifacts that count as non-creature spells. So you're almost playing cantrips to eliminate your opponents. Moving on to other spells. Let's talk about Call Forth the Tempest. For 5 and 3 red is a sorcery that says Cascade, Cascade. When you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exile card on the bottom of your library in a random order, then do it again. Call Forth the Tempest deals damage to each creature your opponents control equal to the total mana value of other spells you've cast this turn. So this card really goes really well when you have Infect because you're casting possibly a total of 3 spells with Call Forth the Tempest cascading. So that possibly could be 6 poison counters on opponents. Just saying. Moving on to the next. Oh, I'm running away with the Cascade theme for this commander because my experience with spell slinging, if you're not able to cast a bunch of spells on one turn, you kind of don't get the value or get ahead the way ideally you would like to. So let's talk about Reign of Riches. 3 and 2 red. It's an enchantment. It says when Reign of Riches enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. The first spell you cast each turn that mana from a treasure was spent to cast has Cascade. Remember, when you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast without paying its mana cost. You get free spells. All you need to do is pay spells or cast spells with a treasure token, and it automatically gives you 2. And guess what? You're in black and red. There's a bunch of creatures, there's a bunch of cards that create treasure tokens just off of triggers, off of death triggers, off of just casting the spell itself. Like you got options. Even the I've got the Storm Kiln Artist that creates treasure tokens when you cast a certain type of spell. Moving on. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Black Waltz number 3 is only a 2/2 body. Okay, that is very weak. And unfortunately, you're in rakdos, so you really don't have much of a way to protect him besides equipping him with one of the boots that give him ward or hexproof. But in this color scheme, this guild, you can redirect single targets. So let's talk about untimely malfunction. For 1 in a red, it's an instant. It says choose one, destroy target artifact. We like that. Okay, change the target of spell or ability with a single target. That's where this card shines. For only 2 mana to redirect a Swords of Plowshare targeting Black Waltz to number 3 to somebody else's creature, you want that. You're gonna need these type of spells to keep Black Waltz number 3 on the battlefield. And hey, that's straightforward. Moving on to the next card. So I am going haywire overboard with these redirect spells. Okay, hear me out on this. Hear me out. Grip of Chaos for 4 and 2 red. It's an enchantment that says whenever a spell or ability is put onto the stack, reselect this target at random if it has a single target. Select from among all legal targets. Okay, so we want to do this to preferably avoid single target removal to our Black Waltz. Unfortunately, it's choosing the new targets at random. So you could essentially accidentally choose Black Waltz or a permanent that's on the battlefield that's on your side. However, if it stays on the battlefield and redirects a single target to some other creature, hey, you got Black Waltz to stay on the battlefield a little bit longer and you get to change the game. And honestly, I feel like the artwork for both cards are very, synchronized. Like it makes sense that this card would go together just based off of image alone. Thank you for watching this video. In this video, I was really excited to tell you about this commander. I do like playing Rakdos, one of my favorite guilds. And Rakdos Spellslinger is kind of an all or nothing kind of commander. If this commander gets on the battlefield and he has Infect, you're winning the game. Like, to play non-creature spells, that's easy to do. All you gotta do is play Cheerios, artifacts with 0 mana, and all of a sudden, boop, 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 you play 3 of them, and you got 6 poison counters on each opponent. Oh, yeah, just saying. Then the cascading effects, you have more than enough opportunity to win the game quickly with this commander. The only issue you have is it's in Rakdos. So guess what? The mana source is going to be tight and limited. That's your biggest issue. Otherwise, have fun.